Diola, guys, Lola as well. So also so as I was saying, which is why you should trade, trade size small. Let me share my screen. I want to show you something here. Someone's speaker is on. If you want to mute yourself, please, mate. Let's see. I think it's Diola. Yep, it is. I've muted him. Okay. So as I was saying, so if you look at oil, Diola is not here. So if you look at US oil, for example, WTI, or yeah, let me just go oil, US or USA, USD. So US oil, USD. So if you look at this, for example, I think I did mention a while back that long time I see oil down. So if I wasn't trading stupid leverage, I said this at one of our meetings, if I wasn't trading stupid leverage, I can't remember what price it was. You can't see. So when things are heated, the news headlines just, screaming like the world is going to end, that's the time to do the opposite. That just tells you it's already peaking. Yesterday, someone said trading 212, which is one of the things that we use, the brokers saying, oh, they're accepting new people. Yeah, and I said, because a lot of people have left the market. And guess what that means? That means it's time for, that just tells you we're getting to the end of this whole, madness. And I'm not saying we are at the end, but we are getting towards the end. What are the signs for the end? Quite a lot of things. You can't see. The difference is this one is a bit unique, okay? The uniqueness is the fact that, of course, we expect the market's been extremely stretched. We expect it to cool down. That's number one. Number two, sorry, give me a second. Just give me a second. Bear with me, please. Sorry, just reminding guys. Okay, what was that saying? So quite a few signs. When oil gets cheaper, that just tells you that, that's number one, that, production can be ramped up. That just tells you that's production, expansion, growth. That's a sign of growth. When oil is cheap, then you can grow, of course. But when oil is at the peak, it's expensive to grow. So that's one sign right here. I'm not saying we are at the top, but this is just a sign that, it peaked, it cooled off, and then peaked again. It peaked at this point. So if you look at it on the longer time frame, this is one sign right here that we did, this whole madness, is coming to an end. Another one is, I've always been mentioning copper anyway, but commodities get cheaper as well. So if you look at commodities, they get cheaper, but we're going to look at commodities in a minute. But let's look at oil. So I did say that oil was going to get lower a long term. Okay, long term. When have we ever been in this madness with oil? Where's 2018? I'm trying to look for 2018. 2021. This is 2018. It was okay. Let me just look for UK or USD. Let's find you. Let's look at the benchmark, which is the U. This is not complete data. I need a bit longer. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I'm not getting the long-term trend. I want to get the price up to this 2014. I was able to get the price up to 19 or even 1864, something like that. But I don't know why this time around. It's giving me, it take me back to 2014. Yeah, sorry. Give me a second. Crude oil. You're gonna have to bear with me, please, guys. Sorry. US oil. This is the one I was looking at. Fantastic. Okay, so if you look at 2018, 2018 was, I think that's the worst. Oh, sorry, 2008. Beg your pardon. That's the worst we had. Okay, 2008, that was a global recession. I believe everyone here was born then, 2008. If you're not, okay, we had a global recession. Just felt like the world was coming to an end. And this is the worst to 2018 East 2022, as you can see, when Russia put the boots on the ground the next day or the same day, oil just went through the roof. And then, of course, with inflation at this point, peaking or hitting all-time, well, not all-time high, hitting record highs, 40 years. So, okay, so when it collapsed, which it did by 2009, the next year, that just tells you that things cool down. Of course, things heat up and then they cool down. So initially, this is the initial shock, and then it ramps up. Once we get and then it gets digested and it cools down. Now we get the full effects of the mess we're in, and that's when you start getting the ramp again. And then, of course, when economy and everybody's back again, you get the price kind of stabilized. But again, the war is here, okay? And then we felt the full effects of the war, came down, and then again, sorry, it's not displaying properly. Okay, and then again we had inflation, record highs, and then peaks. Now it's been digested. But long term, this is where I wouldn't say where it's going. I just think oil is coming down. So, and oil affects, sorry guys, I keep moving it all the time. Don't know why. It's not bold enough the way I would like it to be. Okay. So long term, I'm expecting oil to, I'm expecting oil to just form a base. Well, at least it's going to have to come around here. And if it loses this support, which is what we were saying earlier in the group. Sorry, guys, I keep moving these things a lot. This is a really good support at this point here, this point here. At this point, you can actually, this is a really good demand zone. If it rejects around this point, sorry, guys, I really actually do see oil coming to test. Well, I did say 71s, but it's probably going to test this lows first, okay? But things take a while. They're going to come down, but it's never going to be in a straight line. And as you can see, 5% in one day. This is not just mere saber rattling with, each OPEC cutting down production, Putin throwing out everything he's got. So that's the way I see it. So long-term horizon, if you're trading long-term horizon and you're not fully over-levered to your chest, then of course you expect it to come further down, and that's what I see. So I don't know if DLI is here. So this is what I meant when I talked about oil coming down. But if you're scalping, then of course you're not looking at this. You have no business looking at the odd 5 minutes, and that's it. Even as a scalper, of course you want to go short or go long. As a scalper, hasn't really been much of a dream in the past. Since 2nd of September, it has actually it's tanked heavily. Look at that, 8%. So anyway, so that's one. Another one is, which we talked about, or we talk about, is the copper. If you look at copper, okay, this is copper right here. Of course, copper gets expensive, so it moves it anti-correlates with oil, okay? At this point, copper is one of the most used commodities, unfortunately. Look at copper right here. Nobody wants copper. Nobody wants it at all, 3.3, okay? Because there's boots on ground. It feels like the world is coming to an end, okay? And that was the 4th of September, actually. Let me do this. Fantastic. Okay, so look, it feels like the world is coming to an end. COVID, we had similar 2016. I think that was when we had the random collapse in the market, and then 2008, 2009 recession. It always feels like the world is coming to an end. So at this point, if you buy copper, things get back to normal, and you make your profit. And likewise, right here, so copper will get cheap when things get better. And look, are we getting to the peak? I don't know, but what is the future telling me? Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to make it bold a bit. So what's the future telling me? The future is telling me that, look, copper at this point is, it's just telling me right now, this is the worst you can get. And ever since, it's just been rejecting, coming down. Another thing you want to look at is, are we getting to the bottom? Yes or no? Look at wheat, okay? Well, this is wheat. Let's look at it here. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Wheat, it doesn't matter. Let me look at it here. though this is Italian based, but similar, same thing, just listed, multi-listed assets. Okay, again, the bombs hit Ukraine, or the war is coming to an end, and as you can see right here, came down. We got a full scale of where we're going. They blocked off the wheat. You cannot export, etc. Of course, it came here, but now ever since July or since March, February, it has been coming down. So bread is getting cheaper. I think yesterday, or was it today, Putin talked about leaving room for wheat to be exported. You would expect it to come down, but taking it through alternative routes, thereby denying Europe access to wheat. It says, "Oh, I'm going to give it to countries that needed it." The market didn't take that very well, and look at what happened to wheat. It actually has been jumping. It's been jumping because it said, "Yeah, we're going to get wheat to access to areas that need it." Africa don't produce enough wheat, and look at that. It's been just ramping back up, which means bread is going to be expensive wherever you are in Africa or parts of the world. We don't grow enough. Ukraine and Russia, I think Ukraine actually grows about 2% of the wheat that's consumed in the world, and of course they've been facing food shortage. So again, we at this point here, it came down for a little bit because we thought it came down a little bit initially. That was the minute it was heated, and Russia was sanctioned. That we thought, okay, they're going to calm down, and then they ramped up because Russia just didn't care, and then again came down, and now there's a bit of war of words going on, and since the war of words, it's been climbing again. So if you expect food shortages, then of course expect that to climb up. But we trade the charts, and what's the charts telling me about wheat right now? I don't know. I've mentioned this before, so I think this is going to keep going up, and if it's all, it's going to hit this point here, 0.92. Sorry. So if you're going to go to the ones which we can, I think this is it here. There you go. So I'll be looking at 912, if at all, because it's actually broken away from. It's quite simple, really, whichever way you look at it. So this is the peak initially, right here. Okay, but it's people want it higher. Okay, and this point here will have to come. There's liquidity right here, which has to be tested again and taken out anyway. I can tell you gradually. So this price will move. We're just going to get some shock. So we're not at the bottom yet, but oil is calming down. This hasn't moved as aggressively as we would have thought. So that's not a bad thing. And if you remember, June, July, what was happening? We started getting this rally, okay, and people thought we were at the bottom erroneously. I never called the bottom. I just mentioned what I can see, and because we thought we were at the bottom, or people thought we were at the bottom, and as you can see, food price was coming down. Hey, is this a hooray? But of course, now it looks like it's going to make its way back up. So that's the point I was trying to make. Okay, so we're not at the bottom. It's just how to say, it's a crazy market. It's going to be really, really choppy. I try not to leave anything open tonight because there's FOMC tomorrow. Powell's got to make a speech. We don't know what he's going to say. GBP USD, the pound hitting 40-year low against the dollar. It's things are just bad all over the place. So if you are struggling right now, believe me, you are not alone. Look, this is 2020, and it hits 2020 level. As you can see, it literally hits it today, just today. And again, if you look, let's take it further back. So when last did pound get to that? So when last did the sterling get to that level? Look, some of you were not born 1985. Naomi, this time around, you were not born. So this is when, as you can see. So, that was the last time the sterling got to that price, and sterling is actually pushing for that price. So it hits 1985 level. And if you test this level, then of course you would expect that's parity with the dollars. Just shows that we're in a big mess, especially UK. A lot of people tend to wonder, why is UK so exposed, even though we're not as exposed directly to Russia. Again, I don't know, UK is not a net exporter of oil and gas, but I think generally there's just been that European general exposure to Russia, and we're all feeling it. I don't know who are told. I think my bill on a personal note was about £100 monthly, just electricity and gas, about 105. Now it's about 418 monthly. So so you're not going through it alone. I think we are going through it, but again, this is some of the price you have to pay for what's happening in Ukraine. Russia is a big, it's a big global partaker, unfortunately. So a few things, again, recap what I've been saying. Oil moves in tandem with the world, with production. So anti-correlates with growth. So when oil prices come down, people can grow. Of course, you can travel, we use oil for a lot of things, not just transportation. In fact, transportation is one of the least we use it for. So we use oil in industry. So when there's growth, oil comes down. When there's growth, wheat is going to come down. That's one you got to look at. Dr. Copper, when there's growth, copper comes down. And of course, the dollar, when there's growth as well. If you can look at the dollar, look at the dollar. Look, dollar pushing crazy highs, and look at dollar. When last did it hit that level? I think dollar got to the highest, third highest or so price since since gold was removed as the standard rather, I would say. So right there in about 1984 was the highest it's ever been, and then right here in 1969 was about 1969. It's not straight enough. And then the third highest was about this is created by the recession. And of course, you got to understand value of money's changed hands. So I could tell you that right now we are in parity with 2002 levels, even though it looks a bit lower. But a dollar right here, it's about $2. We all know that. So I can tell you we are at that level. But if you're going to look at it based on what we can see, then we're getting close. We're getting close. We're getting close right here. We're getting close. So things are really bad. You're not the only one feeling the pinch. If you are feeling the pinch, is this going to abate anytime soon? We don't know. We just know that this is what we're facing. There's still huge labor demand going on with America, the guys who control most of the markets. And the Fed balance sheet as well is still, it's still quite high. So the Fed needs to destroy this market. So there's still a little bit of down expected, which means oil is still going to surge at some point. And they need to destroy the market a little bit just to improve the balance sheet. Some people saying we're probably just going to have to live with inflation. Maybe, I don't know. But they've got to be aggressive. I think it was a Volcker, one of the Fed governor in, I can't remember what year now. He was the one who actually just, they talk about Volcker economics. He just literally destroyed everything just to get his level. And then we can start rebuilding. And that's it. So not sure what power will do. But again, we don't control the market. Take every day as it comes. So one thing I said I was going to discuss about, so this is the state of the economy, speaking from my angle, my view. So again, if we're not giving signals or buy this, buy that, it's not because there's nothing to trade, but I think half the time just be patient with yourself. Sometimes the money is probably just best off in your pocket. Don't rush to buy things. Don't rush to buy things at all. Just be patient. And if you're trading, you get a little profit. If it's going against you, you don't always have to wait this out. I tend to just secure that profit. I've secured about £10, whereby it runs up to £2,000 profit eventually, which I don't take. But hey, that's just life. I'm happy with a little. It's better than nothing. Got to be careful, and please do not gamble. I know we tend to wait, but you have to understand there are levels whereby this market will just never return to. We look at Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin, I remember calling some prices. I mean, I'm not an authority. We just, this is some prices, the levels I never thought, I did call a few levels then, even though my level is still quite lower. Okay, once demand destruction happens, there's quite liquidity here, which will get taken out. Absolutely, there's money here, which Bitcoin would have to take out. And it's just going to take a while sometimes. Remember, it's going to go, but it's never going to be in a straight line. So these are all the things you've got to be careful with. But again, as you can see, as I've mentioned, I'm kind of zoning out more from crypto, less crypto for me. Anyway, so speaking of, if you're in a trade now, so that's the first thing. Do we have a question at all? Any question? Right. I didn't hear anybody. Sorry.
No question.
That's fine. Thank you. So let's just keep it on. Keep it on. So now, speaking of, I think the second thing I said we're going to discuss is where is it again? Yeah. So yeah, I think so. We talked about the state of the entire market, stocks, commodities correlation. I mean, speaking of the state of the market as well, if you look at SPY, which is literally, I mean, look at me right here. I can't even remember what dates. I wish I put it. I think I'm going to start putting the dates on them. See, I did say we're coming down here. I think I said in one of our meetings actually, but look at that now. We actually came to test it, didn't we? We did test it, as you can see, exactly. So, you know, if you're taking a short right there, I don't know what date I did it, but as you can see, 25th of August, can you see that? And if you look at the weeks, we actually did test it, 388. Pull back a little bit. So what am I trying to say? So since 25th of August, if you had shorted it then, what would you have seen? Of course, you would have seen the odd, you know, yeah, that's a 4 hour. You would have seen the odd disappointments, you know, because it would, I mean, it didn't come in a straight line. Where is it? It was 26th of August, I think it was, yeah. So it would have been disappointed. You would have been disappointed slightly. And then look at that, especially at this point, it came back. Let me use this one here. So if you had shorted it, come on now. Yeah. So let's just say while it got here, I still think we're going to go a bit, we're still going to go further down. But, you know, if you come here, you would have said, okay, let me take my profit. Or if you, let's just say you want to get to this level, while it got here, you probably would have just taken it out. Or if you shorted it from this point, you would have just taken out your profit here. But long term, if you zoom in, I always say, or if you zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out. You know, so if you're going to look at this on a daily, you see, it's just disturbance. The greens are just disturbance. Sir, mute yourself, sir.
Now.
It's the Galaxy. I've muted you. They're running the tap, right? And water is expensive. Okay, so if you're taking it on a day, which is one of the things I say you should record your trades, please. Very, very important to record them. You know, you can see it's just forming red on a daily. So we've had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of red. But if you're doing it on a 4 hourly, you would have thought, oh no, let me come out here because it's a solid green. But if you had if you had recorded it, you know that you came in here on a full selling day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus that one, 8 solid days, you know, of down. And I always talk about market having a memory. Okay, the last time he came here, can you see? That's when he actually did stop. So, and I'm not saying this is where it's going to stop. You know, look at that, just around that point. That's where the memory is, as in terms of how we can retain it. And of course, if we're going to look at it again, let's have a look. This is 2020. Are we going to come to this point? I don't think we're going to come to this point at all, because this point is a you know, economy varies. Economy has grown, of course, but we're not going to come to this point. Definitely not. But again, is this level still very possible? I think so, because the market doubled. So personally, I'm looking at half of this. Again, I can't call the bottom, but at least I'll be looking at, yeah, around this point. So that ridiculous right we had in 2020 has got to be taken back out. It's got to be taken back, and the market is giving it back. So it's going to give it back plus a little bit, so we can have room to regrow again. Okay, and then that's one. Well, that's that one about that. So always pay attention to what the indices are doing. This is not giving us a true reflection, but if you look at Russell 2000, what's the IWM, which is the growth, this is actually a really better reflection of what's going on. Look, we've literally gone from the highs of 242 right here and level with 2020. So this is, so if you have your growth stocks doing really bad, this is what you want to be looking at right here. Okay, so anything from here, on a personal note, I think I'll take my level. So if, I will take a buy. But again, most of the stocks are destroyed anyway, as you can see, or we know them. If you give a few example, Band, which is one I bought 106 or so, it's at 15. Beyond Meat, which somebody was talking about, it's at 22. Snapchat, Beyond Meat went from the highs of 239. Snapchat from the highs of what, 83 to 11, even came down to 9 or even 5 at some point. So this guy's got money on the side, so you got to make sure these guys are constantly beating earnings. They're making money. If you're gonna, scale down, or sorry, if you're gonna, how do I say, double down on what you buy, average down, yeah. So don't be scared. If you're losing money, everybody's losing money right now, and that's just what I'm gonna say. Finally, speaking of hedging, so what is hedging? Hedging is a way to protect yourself. Okay, so you take a short or a long. So short is, of course, you're saying this stock is gonna, you're betting that the stock is gonna go down. So let's look at this market, Snapchat. So let's just say you took a short right here. You took a short right here, or you went long rather, and it went here, and it's sorry, let me go here realistically. So you went long. Oh, I want to keep it for long term. Isn't that what we all say? It got to this point, you didn't take profit, you left it, and it keeps, and then it started dipping. And remember, that's your level, and now it's gone against you, okay? And you start thinking, oh, what do I do? So at this point, you start thinking, oh God, I'm losing money, okay? So let's just say it goes to this point. So you're already down, it's already gone against you. So you can take a short right here. So if you take a short, remember this little gap. I don't know, depends on what leverage you use, what risk you're putting into the market. So your risk is about $20, right? So at this point, you're betting it's going to go up. And at this point, you're betting it's going to go down. So you've taken 2 trades, up, down. So for every $10 up this makes, this is going to go, you're going to be losing $10 down. So either way, it should just be $20. Does that make sense? Either way. I don't know if I'm making sense to anybody. Am I making sense at all?
Can you say that again?
So let's start again. So you went
start again.
Sure. So you went long here, right, at this point, and then you were in profit, okay? Profit, and you're smiling, but you didn't take profit, and then it came here to this point. You still did not take profit. Remember, this is your break-even point, yeah? You didn't take profit because you're thinking, should I come out? Nah, it's okay. It's gonna come. You know the way people talk about, I'm living for the forever. It doesn't bother me. And then when it gets to this point here, now it's gone below your entry price, correct? So at this point, okay, you say, I'm gonna go short this line, yeah? Which means when it goes down, you're in the money and you should be smiling, right? But you're not going to smile because you're already down $20 when it went from here to here, correct? So when it went from here to here, you're $20 down. Am I making sense to anybody at all?
Yeah,
I am. Good.
Yes, you are.
So now you've got 2 trades, okay? One is long, 2 is short. Okay, Shay, for me, am I making sense?
Yes, you are.
Good. So you've got 2 trades now, one long, one short. Okay, so for every down this goes, so if it goes down, you're going to see your short say, let's just say, for example, $50, and what's $80, for example. How much are you going to see here then? Minus 100. Makes sense because you are trapped with this. I don't know what it's called, if it's got a name, but this is like your risk. Does that make sense? Yes, no?
Yes.
Good. So if it goes down, $180, how much are you going to see now? Sorry, if your profit is $80 from the short, how much are you going to see from your long?
You'd be at a loss, $100.
If you're in profit, 180, you'll be at a loss 200. But you're right, $100. If you making sense,
trade.
Fantastic. Yeah. So if you're at a loss for $50, then your long is going to be 100. Let me repeat it again for the last time. Otherwise, you can watch the video again. So you take a trade here. You go long. Long is you're betting that it's going to go up, and it did go up quite all right. Yeah. And it was going up. And then let me just mute whoever that is. Okay. I think it's Doctor. Okay. So you went long here. You didn't take profit. You didn't take profit. And it came down. This is your break even. Break even. You still did not take profit. And then it came down and started thinking, and I was $100 up. But you know the way we talk about this thing, oh, I should have taken profit. And then you're like, I know I can short. And then you went short instead. Okay. Now it's coming down. So you're like, I'm printing. Somebody say, but you're printing money. But I said, no, I'm not, because I'm $20 down overall when you combine both trades. Making sense? So if you're $20 down when you combine both trades, what does that tell you then? So you start thinking, if I take my profits here, I'm going to be $180 richer. But if I take this loss, overall, I'm $20 poorer. Make sense, everybody?
Yeah.
So, good. So what do you do? At what point do you come out so you do not lose your money? So this is what I tend to do. I was trying to remember before this session, but I just thought I'm going to go freestyle just to remind you. If you have any question, just ask me. So let's go back in. So I'm in my, sorry. Okay. It doesn't matter. I'm in my long. Okay. Let me take it on hourly so we can see a bit more volatility. Let's get this on magnets. Okay. Fantastic. So I went long 30 minutes. Let's see a bit more data. Fantastic. I was just going to ask you give you a fun facts. This is the first thing I learned at university as an icebreaker. What's the singular for data? Anyone knows? People don't realize data is actually a plural. So people tend to say one piece. Say that. Absolutely, yeah. Datum. So people tend to think, people say one piece of data. No, it's actually datum. So I was just trying to see. But anyway, take it away. So again, so you went let's go back. So you went long here. Okay, and you're in profits. And then it went against you. This is your break even. Break even. And then you decided to go short instead. Short. Okay, and at this point, you're making money. Okay, so break even, you're now zero. Okay, here, so when you are in profit, let's say you make $100. I don't know what, depends on what leverage, if you're trading at a leverage. If you're $100 up here, so let's just say it's moved against you by, so you go in here, you short it at this point, right? So let's say the gap between them is 30. Okay, so when you're $100 up, this is going to be showing you, your long is going to be showing you minus 130 because the gap is 30. So what I tend to do personally, so normally I don't let it get that long before I cut it out. So I wouldn't run a trade where one is at $500 and the other one is minus 600. I think that's way too much. It depends on the capital again. So of course, number one, you got to take a trade only when you're sure. Okay. But number two, what you should do, number two is, just give me a second. So that's number one. Number one, take a trade only when you're sure. Number two, though, guys, number two is once I define my level, okay, remember there's volatility in the market. It depends on what time frame you're trading. So once I define my level, so let's just say this is my level, okay? And so I went, sorry, this was my level. This when I went long, okay? Always have that range of when you think you will be wrong, okay? So once it invalidates that range, sorry guys, it looks a bit complicated to explain, even though it's a very simple thing. Once that range, that break-even point is invalidated, I'm at a loss. Okay, look at the last, and this is why it's very important. People say DYOR, do your own research. Okay, the reason is because some trades
running on the treadmill every single day trying to lose weight.
This is because some trades don't play out accordingly. Okay, so once I look at my last zone here, let me just clear all these things. So once I look at my last zone here and it's been taken out, okay, if I begin to see these long candles, forget it, I'm out of this long and I'll focus on my shorts. Does that make sense? So remember, charts, they only do three things. They move down, they move up, and they move what? Sideways. Now, let me show you. Let me take off this magnet. At this point, so always check to confirm. Get somebody else's opinion as well. It doesn't matter. I'm always happy to help. So look, this is my level, as you can see. I know you may, it depends on what you're trading. Minutes, seconds. I was taking 20-second trade at some point on a 500x again, which is a bit dangerous. So you went long here. Okay, you didn't take profit, and then at this point it's invalidated. Sorry. And then at this point, this is your break-even point, right? So I would stretch it a bit longer. I'll wait. Okay, if it breaks this point, so let's just say you went short here. Okay, this is where you went short. I can only see solid candles. Yeah, and that just tells me I don't care what you say. The bears are winning. They're running the show. If it's only solid, or so that's one point. I'm just going to get rid of this and I'll focus on my shorts. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is, I don't know if that makes sense. Another way to look at it is, look at the candles. Can you see these candles? I'm going to circle two candles and I'll ask you for the difference. It doesn't matter at any point at all. Let's just look at this area. So look at this candle here, this green, and look at this other green. What's the difference between them?
The size?
Forget the size. Size don't really mean much. It's not the size. Can you see this hasn't got a tail? This got a tail. This hasn't got a tail. Yeah?
Yeah.
If he hasn't got a tail, they're telling you that we are serious about going, we just want to go up. But if he's got a tail, that's what they call indecision. They're not sure anymore. Look, after that, one more sell and these guys took over. Look, no tail, no tail, no tail, no tail, no tail. Look, we're not sure. And then you're not sure, right? Okay, we take over. See, they can't take it that long because these two guys are not sure. Look, they took over again. Yeah. And then this guy, even though these two guys have tail, but this guy came in not sure. Okay, so you could say you want to hold it, but look at this guy, huge, and it took out both of them. Okay, at this point, forget it, get out. Okay, so which is why you don't have to trade. Okay, if you're not too sure, seek opinion. We're here to, we supporting each other. So look at those candles, because these candles are talking to you. Okay, are they sure? Are they not sure? And like I said again, look at these guys. I'm very sure about selling. Do I want to leave it? No. Look, I don't know what came out. This is not very sure, but look at the long tail. Okay, and the long tail is just telling you these guys want the price as low as possible. They're not sure, but they get, remember this is an auction. You want to sell me your car, Naomi, for example, your Tesla, which is $80,000, but I'm telling you $5,000. It doesn't matter how quiet I say. Depends on how, believe me, you can buy Tesla for 5,000. If you are that desperate, you say, you know what, if you, God forbid, if someone is ill, somehow you'll find that money if the person is dear to you, correct? Yeah. It's the same way. So these guys are bidding very low. You don't know, maybe he's going to accept it, but look, they accepted it. Yeah, they just accepted it before they faded out. And look at it. What tells you it's fading out? Unsure. Look, these guys want to come in. This is where size matters. But unsure, see? And that's it. Eventually. So much indecision. Can you see that? So many of them not sure what they're doing. Okay? They're not sure because look at these giants they have to conquer, to overcome. So they need a big buyer to say, okay, let's take all of them out. But remember, The minute something, if you get a very long candle, as a trader, get out. The minute you get that long candle, get out. Why? Because it's going to pull it back up. The next might be take it back up or keep going back down. So that's a good way to just run your trades. So you just run it down, and then these guys, they're not sure. 5,000, okay. Let me say 25, even though 5,000 is what's on your mind. But you say, okay, let me start from 25. But you've teased it down 5,000. So would you take 5,000 for my Tesla? So I mean 25,000. So, oh, okay, that's what you said. Can you see that? That's the difference. And that's what happens. And look at this guy. Say, push it now. Is it not 5,000? And look at that. No tail. Another guy. But they all coming around the same price level. Can you see that again? Look at where the price is, just keeps stopping at. I don't want to turn this to a class per se, it's a meeting. And that's what's happening. See that? Okay, and then someone else has to come take it out. So when you're looking at hedging, so you don't want to, I've had it before, I've made a few mistakes myself. I'm hedging, and then I end up with one $500 down, the other one maybe $700 down, but I only want to take a small trade, maybe $700 off, so just $200. And I'm thinking, you know what? Because the worse it gets for one, the worse it will get for the other. Do you understand? So you shouldn't take too long with hedging. But one more thing I wanted to mention when you're hedging, okay, there was a time I took I hedged this US 30. So what did I do? I think I went long, but I expected it to go down by a lot. So while this printed at the point of reverse, I left it. So I just thought, okay, if at all, I'm just going to break even. So that's another strategy. I don't know if that makes sense. So at this point, you went long or you went short, okay? You went short and then it ran against you, but you've looked at it and you remember this is 15 minutes. Before you hedge, zoom out so you can get a direction. And I was thinking, okay, it's going to top out around this point. That's what I thought. And it did. And look at what happened. So, and then here I broke even and I still took some money out. This not exactly at this point, exactly. But so look at the long term. Where is it going? So you got to think, okay, it's a temporary measure. So do you know what? I'm going to take profit on one side and I'm going to wait the other one out. So you can profit both sides. One more thing or one more pointer to note, please, guys. One more good pointer to note is when you're hedging, and this is why you need to trade very small. When you're hedging, please remember when you take one trade, okay, you've got margin which has been trapped already. So if you take another one, so let's just say it depends on what leverage you're applying. So let's just say your margin here is $200, okay, committed. But if you take another one, okay, if you take another shot right here, that's another 200, okay, going down here. If you take another shot, that's another 200. So that's another $200. So you are committing a lot more money, and you have to understand that a lot more is at stake, and it's possible to lose both of them. Okay. When did I think was it a few days ago when I told you I lost 40 grand? That was actually me hedging. What was it? I think it was US 30. Yes, it was US 30, and it was exactly this point that happened to me, trading a very high leverage. And I was going long and I was expecting it to collapse. When is it going to stop? And guess what happened? The market opened, okay? And it just ran. Let me find the trade. It did a monster run against me. No, yeah, it was here. So I think I was going long actually, and it was here. So it just ran heavily against me. And I thought, oh God, so it just took a lot of money from me. And by the time it took me out, which means because I was hedging as well, one was liquidated, the other one got liquidated as well. And that's just really bad. So I lost a lot of money there. And again, I oversized. You're not going to make all the money today. Be patient, give yourself time. And that's what happens. So you got to understand that. Look at the money side, number one. Look at the trade side. Which is look at the chart. What's the chart saying? Have an invalidation zone. At what point am I going to be wrong? Okay, to be able to take your loss, and of course understand how much risks you are willing to commit as well. you know, just gonna leave it about, I don't know what your pocket size is, $50, $30, $40 apart, and that's what I want to do. I think that is key, very, very important. Otherwise, you know, I'm sure Naomi, Port Harcourt is quite far. That's the village. Good. Do we have other question or any question?
Yeah, I have questions.
Sure.
Okay, so I think I have two
Go back.
questions.
Okay.
The first question would be, is it safe to say that hedging does not necessarily, or rather, hedging, does not necessarily make you more profit, but just to protect your profits? Like, do you understand? Like, you don't make more profit, but protect what you already have, and then prevent yourself from making, extra losses. And
No, I mean, so how do you define hedging? It's when you buy or sell an investment to partially help reduce the risk of loss of an existing position. Can it help you reduce your loss? Yes. Can it help you make more profit? Absolutely. Think about it. For example, what are we looking at here? US 30. Let's just say I have, give me a stock, any stock. Apple. That's what everyone says, right? Apple. So I'm in Apple, which I'm not. Guys, or whoever's watching or listening, this is just strictly example. I'm not saying buy. So I'm in Apple and I went long. I went long right here. I went long right here. Okay. And it went up, but I'm expecting this point as my take profit. But it went against me. And now I'm a little bit down. Let's just say it's $1 down. It doesn't matter. $1 is huge for some people. It's probably nothing for some people as well. So I'm $1 down. What do I do at this point? Do I take my profit? Do I take my loss? I decided, you know what?
You're going to hedge.
Yeah, so let me clear it. And I zoomed out. And I'm thinking, nah, come on. Okay, there's a bit of support here, but it's temporary. It's not strong enough. I think, Apple is going to calm down, and it's going to calm down right here. Okay. So I decided to go short, even though I've got a trade at this point, which I'm long. I'm long. So now it came here when I went short. I made profits. Make sense? And I smile. But again, remember, it was $1 difference. So if I come out here, I'm only $1. If it goes up, my loss is zero, break even though I'm going to be $101. Let's just say my profit was $100. But if it keeps going up, then my loss is reduced. Make sense? So overall, if you look at both trades, I am profitable, correct?
Yeah.
Making sense? Remember, I came out $100. The shortfall difference between them is $1. So if it starts going up, yeah, my $101 will reduce. Make sense? While my $101, so let's say it went to 98. So 100 and minus 98 is what? $2 profit for me. Make sense? Overall. But so why would I decide to leave this for now? If you believe that Apple will come back, and this is actually best, hedging is especially best with stocks. If you believe that Apple will come back to take these highs, then of course you can leave it. That's number one. Number two, you went here, you went long. No, you went long here. Sorry, you went short here, which is amazing because it's printing for you. And at this point, Biden just said, you know what? We're thinking about we're going to ban. We're thinking we're going to make everybody have an iPhone compulsorily. Make sense? So it ran against you. Make sense? But we know everything in this market is temporary. Come on now. They can't do that. That's impossible. They can't just buy China. It's just Chinese companies or Korean, whatever. It's just going to destabilize the whole world. So this is temporary. So in this case, I'm going to leave my shorts and I'm going to go long here just to take advantage of the momentum. Okay. And once it loses steam, because what's going to happen the next day? China's going to retaliate. Okay, iPhones are now banned in China. UK is going to retaliate. Oh, we have a special relationship, but we want to protect our industry. Korea is going to retaliate, and then you're going to hear them saying, oh yeah, we're considering maybe we should lift the ban for 10 years, for example, just so we can, yeah. And what's going to happen? It's going to start falling in the same direction. Do you see that? And this is going to print again. So bio, you're shorting a bio. Oh, we're thinking about want to release something for monkeypox vaccine. What's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to run up the news. But what's going to happen eventually? Like they all do, all bios. Yeah, it's going to collapse, and then your hedge is going to start playing ball. You know, you can see cassava is one. I don't know where it ran to. You know, look at that, 146, now 29. A lot of them, you know, quite a lot of them. I think there was even one called drug. It's quite funny, you know, which ran down. Now it's, you know, it's making the highs, but what's it doing now? Collapsing, you know. So these are the things. So if you're here shorting and it went against you, and you're thinking, oh, do you know what? I'm gonna be patient because they just lie about these things. It hasn't even been approved by the FDA. These things take time. Just leave it, let it play out. Again, that's why you take positions in small chunks. Don't try and make all the money in one day. Let's grow gradually, and then you learn more from the market. And that's so that way you're leaving yourself room to be wrong, leaving yourself, you know, and of course, especially just to prevent yourself from hedging at all. Look at where this has been coming from. To prevent yourself from hedging at all, if you're going to take a trade, you know, you want to take a trade. Let's look at Snapchats again. You want to take a trade whereby your profits margin is quite high. So, you know, you got to look at your risk reward. So let's just say you want to get out here. Look at that. What's your risk reward? $2. Two, which is like 200% minimum is what you can make. So, you know, you want to be taking this. And if you get bored, you say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to get out here. I'm going to get out below that point, get out here, which means, you know, you still made some 43% compared to when you had a 144%. So you want to take, which is why you don't take every little scalp. Make sure the profits thing is very huge. But you know what? I can get out before the whole market, and that works for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of thinking, I want to get it from 7 to 7.4. Not that great. Okay. If you want to scalp, that's fine. But that way, if you know, so you don't just put a lot on it. But if if it goes against you, then of course you will be in trouble, and it's not great. Yeah. Another question, or that's it?
Okay. Can you actually hedge at the beginning of your trade? Is it advisable to do that?
No, it's not. That just means you're not sure. Okay. The police will say you could only, you know, in courts. I'm not a lawyer by any chance, but they will tell you only if you're 100% certain that this person is guilty. That's the only time you should, commit that person to jail or to a sentence. And that's the same thing about trade. We're never 100% sure about anything, but if it ticks a few boxes, then of course go for it. If you start going against, get an invalidation point where you think at this point, I think trade is invalidated. The fact that it's invalidated doesn't mean it's going the other way around. I think like tomorrow morning, you're going to see a lot of chops because what's this guy is talking, Powell. But what am I trying to say? You can't. Let's look at BTC, Bitcoin, for example, and you see that a lot. So here, Bitcoin can't make its mind up, and why not? As you can see, it's moving. Let me show you quickly. What's Bitcoin doing? Can you see? It just can't make his mind up. Yeah, not sure. Look at all these wicks, up and down, up and down, up and down. So here, you don't want to be taking that trade, or if you want to do it, take it in a small size because it's not sure. Don't try and be the first person in the trade. It's not sure. So if you take it, fine. Wait for it again, fine. Wait for it again. Or you say you want to wait and you think if you believe it's going to come down here, okay, this is your invalidation zone. If it comes here, your trade is invalidated. Okay, This doesn't mean you should short it. Okay, this may just mean it might come out here to take out the lows and then run back up. But look, he has a follow. He has a follow. At this point, you're in. Just run with it. Okay. And of course, trade a larger time frame. Don't trade small time frame. So, but if you take it at the beginning, because you know that just means you're not sure of what you're doing. It's just gambling. So what's the point going $10? You know, having a $1 apart, just it does nothing to you. Okay, that just means you're not sure. But you can do that only once you start seeing one going in a focused direction. Then just close out the other one. It's only $1 apart anyway. And then so let's just say one is printed. This one up is printed minus 200, and this one down is printed minus 2. Sorry, it's printed plus 201. Okay, so if you close this out, even though this might show you 205, 206, you're still only $6-7 up because you've taken a beating from here. Does that make sense? So you can do that if you're not really, if you don't really know how to trade. You know, you're still testing the water. You can take both trades at the point where you think you're sure, and once one is committed, then close one, and that's fine, and ride the other one. You can do that too, yes, but it's not really advisable because you don't have to take a trade except you're sure fairly, you know, 50-60% sure, then I'll take it. If you're trading on a larger time frame, let's say hourly, for example, you might say, you know what, I'm not going to take a trade until I see a candle without a wick. Can you see that? Then that's fine. Okay, look, fine, invalidated, but this is not, they're not sure. Can you see? This is not sure. And then again, this guy's took over again. Make sense? So you don't always necessarily have to close it at this point. Oh, it's already coming up. No, we tend to make that mistake of looking at trades. Oh, it's going up, it's going down. No, okay, but it's not sure. Look at the shape. Yeah, and these guys came in with a big hammer and they flushed it again downwards. Look at them. So that might be one of your rules. I'm only going to take it when these unsure guys are out of the way, and these guys who are sure take it. And again, would it work 100% of the time? Of course not. But that's just one trick in the Bible, which I'm giving you. Yeah, Bible of trading, of course. This one take you to Kingdom of Heaven, just in case. Any question? So, but if you take it on a lower time frame, can you see? Very, very unsure. It might be going up, but look. Except if it's a big flush, look at that. But most of the time, they're not sure. They're never sure. 15 minutes. Again, can you see? Very, very unsure. Okay, but look. So minimum is 30 minutes, I would advise you. Look, very solid until these guys who are unsure, and this is a definite sale, so I'm going to come out. But at least, you know, these sure guys, they gave you your money. These guys only took out half the money. Sure, unsure, they still didn't take it. If you notice, when they are very sure, the unsure guys don't always take them out fully, except certain instance. Yesterday was crazy because dollar just moved crazy. A few days ago as well, as you can see, they took them out here. But the minute you see this guy is sure of what he's doing, get out. Okay, but these guys are not very sure. Hey, you don't have to take the trades. There's 5,000, 10,000, 30,000 things to trade. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin. Move elsewhere. I'm just using this as an example. Does that make sense? That's a simple hint right there. See, very sure, unsure, but they're still buying. Oh, very sure. And then this guy is not very sure. But look, the minute you see this candle, he's very sure of what he wants to do. Then you get it now. Again, as it's going up, you're protecting some profit anyway, so you don't let them take all your profits. That's another good point out there. Look at that. These guys are very sure, and when they're sure, can you see? They will flush you out totally. And can we even see any support? Look, they took you back to 2020 level. And that's it right there. That's a Bitcoin. It's a test, and it failed woefully. What happened there? See that? So there you go. So, you know, this might be this is a temporary uptrend because can you see, Naomi?
Yeah.
Long time. Are these guys sure or they're not sure?
They're not sure.
They're not sure. Are you sure?
Oh, they're sure.
Absolutely. Okay.
They're
So you
sure.
might say, except it's Carpa. Oh, he's going up. We're going back to the moon. I'm not sure we are, because these guys are telling me, nope, I don't think so. I'm not taking off my shorts. They're still selling. Okay. And there's money right here. There's money to be made. So they will come out down here. So you got to be careful, except you're scalping. Okay. Scalping taking a very short time frame. Then that's good. So yeah, go on.
So it would be safe to say, because I think how would I put now, timing. I think timing is also important when it comes to hedging, right? Because sometimes you may be in a trade and hope, like for me today, what they call it, Brent.
Yeah.
I was holding it for a while now, and it was a long.
Yeah.
But then it's been going down, so I decided to hedge. But then what the loss I made, and the loss that I caught off was a lot. And the short so far, okay, the short has almost covered up that loss. So I think timing also is important, to know when to get out, like you said, and
absolutely,
take the opposite position.
So you don't want to go the other way around when when there's an announcement due, number one, for example. You don't want to go the other way around at the markets opened. So there's a lot to take into, go to Asia open, New York, London, etc. So timing matters a lot as well. Yes. So or you may want to go the other way around. So let's say you're in a short right here. You're in a short, okay? And what happens? Where's my marker? So you're in a short at this point, okay? And it just ran up. So you're losing. But the minutes US open, some people don't know how to trade the open, which is fine. You don't have to. The minute they open, look at the open, they started flushing it down. Fantastic. I'm going to be, the minute I'm seeing the action, because there's always a rush here to flush it, to take it back up and then flush down eventually. So let's just say, let me see. Okay, you came in here and it's going up. At the open, flush it down a little bit and then let things settle, and then you can see the general trend here. So at this point here, what did I say? You were here. You were in a short. Yeah. So you're in a short. So it's gone against you. Okay, and it's gone up. So look at the open, look at the, look at the trend of the market. So if the trend is up, so I'm not going to be looking at going long here at all. It depends on what the market is. And if you want to trade open, you'll be taking extremely short time frame. So I will be looking at, okay, I tend to do a few things. Number one, I might go my long here, take some profits, and then start again, go short here. And I'm just going to close this, because if I realize that, or if I think it's going to play out, sometimes I even do a double short. That's another way to hedge it. So once I realize it's peaked, and then I go double shots. So, I tend to do that sometimes. So just wait it out and then get at the peak, go again. So you don't always have to go the other way around. Let it peak, take your shots again. So it just means a bad entry. And these things happen all the time. So there's just so many strategies to play this market, so many, but you are right. Time is everything. Markets only telling us three things. Time is very important. Price is for validation, and the volume, which is another key thing. Volume is literally everything. Volume, price, time. That's what you need in this market. But yeah, matters a lot. Okay. It's taking us over an hour. Do we? No, it's fine. Just, do we have other question by anybody? Or do you have another question?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, I know we discussed it before, not at this detail. I'm happy to go through it again at some other time. Do we have any question by anybody though? Okay. Not sure if this has been recorded or no. I'll send you the link later. But how's everyone doing? Samuel, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've been basically scalping all week since Monday. It's been, I would say, my most profitable week. Yeah.
Oh, your most profitable week. Fantastic. Well done. Well done. Mr. Larry, my producer or my director. Mr. Spark, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I've just been doing a couple of trades and checking things out myself on a demo basically. So still a newbie in this. So yeah.
Small amounts, please. Start small. Don't look like, oh, someone has just posted 500%. I'm going all in. No. Don't worry about it. Yeah, making 10 cents, 20 cents. The first thing is learn how to lose less money. Then learn how to trade flat. Then learn to start making a little bit money, and then you make a lot more money. Don't go all in. Be gentle with yourself, please. Okay. Yes, I keep saying we need to talk. I couldn't call you on Sunday. Tiola, how are you? Finally. I know you're on now.
Oh, hi.
How's it going?
I'm good, man.
Trading? Doing anything?
No, it's
Still staring at the market. Yeah, go on.
no, I'm finally in. So I tried to fund my account, but Capital does not allow Visa card funding from Canada.
Oh, okay.
So I
They
have
don't.
to do a wire transfer.
Oh, they do allow wire transfer.
Yeah, well, I've done. I checked through their website, so they do allow wire transfer from all countries. So,
But that would take
Plus-
2-3 days or something.
but it could take up to 5 days.
I'll give you a remind me, please. I'll give you there are quite a few alternatives. Don't stress about that one at all. I know you say you didn't want to trade 500x with me.
Me? I can't do.
So
Ah,
that's fine. That's fine.
You want PTSD of crypto to come back?
Yeah, no, I'll give you some other alternatives. Yeah. There are quite a few alternatives. Don't worry. We have tons of them. So don't worry about that. You don't have to trade them at all with them. There are just hundreds of alternatives out there. They don't want your money because they believe you cannot trade. So you want to prove to them that you can trade and you will make money from the market. So there's a huge competition for this thing. So yeah, I'll give you some alternatives as well. Just remind me, please. Like I said, there are tons of them, hundreds of them.
Cool. I'm actually liking US 30. So I follow all your tips about it. So I'm saving it somewhere. So that's probably going to be my first trade.
Your core, yeah.
First
You know what?
one, yeah.
I made a silly mistake today. It was at 31.1 today, and I was thinking I was gonna do it, but I went on a school run before I came back, 31,600, and I'm thinking I just missed out 500 points, easy. But you know what? I made the decision that I'm never gonna trade, in the car or just with my phone. I want to have my system before I put in money into these things. I've learned the hard way, so I don't feel like I'm missing anything out. Tomorrow is always another day and another day.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking, I'm trying, but I'm planning that I want to try not to leave a trade open and go to bed. But I don't know how possible I'll be able to do that. But
you can. If you're trading very small, for example, let me just show you something. Again, market will not always come back. People tend to always say, oh, market will always come back. But I don't know if I showed you Japan, for example. Let me see, is it Japan here? You can see my chart, right?
Yeah.
This is Japan all time. Let me see. This is not what I want to show you. I think I've talked about this before. And what year was this? No. Land of the Rising Stocks. Japan 2 to 5. Is this? Just give me a second. I can't remember the ticket now. It's actually their version of S&P 500. Anyway, I think this is it. Okay, this is one, for example. Yeah, market will always go up. But if you look at this one here, if you look at their version of S&P 500, 2007, they did not break even until 2015. That's 1 point right there. Okay. You know, I talk about Barclays, and I'll tell you why I'm mentioning this thing. Barclays, which Barclays, UK bank, one of the biggest in the world. Barclays since, look at that, since 2007, they haven't gone back to their highs. There's been multiple dilutions, etc. So you know, this is Barclays. Look, so there's quite a few demand destruction. However, if I know S&P has been going up, and I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying it will always go up. I know, but from history, we just know that, you know, it's just been up and up and up. So if you are able to trade again, you think, you know what, we've hit the bottom, I'm happy, I'm going to put a little bit here because I know we're going to come back right here. Put a little bit there, and you don't mind the odd downside, just leave it. I can leave it overnight, I can leave it for weeks, and there's nothing wrong doing that. I know Didi here, for example, I don't know if you don't mind me sharing, you know, he does a few odd open, you know, he bought his gold, I think 1695, did you? You know, I don't know if you're out of it now, but up, down, which you came here to test, and it's back to its level again. So some people tend to do that. So here, when Russia invaded, for example, here, I remember telling my friend, you know, he was telling me, listen, BK, gold is going to 2000 at this point, and he hit 2000. You know, look, we know they're not going to be there forever. So he took a shot. I don't know if he's left it now, but look at that. The odd scare, and it's still coming down. Okay. Some people do that. So it's both ways. So don't worry about leaving it overnight, except you're trading, you're scalping. But even if it's Apple that you take and say, you know what, solid buy at this point, hey, why not leave it overnight? It's a swing. You could take a swing on the leverage. Just make sure it's not high leverage. There's very small amounts of money involved. Does that make sense? So
yeah, sure.
But if you're scalping, then of course news get released overnight, and this is Japan, you know. This is quite a funny one actually. This country, they shot their own stocks. Look, so when everybody's, or their currency, when everybody's talking interest rates, look at them right now, very high. They are back at 1998 level. You can see that. There you go. So this is I tried shorting it, but he just kept taking me out. I just say, you know what, Japan, just go your way. Okay. So you just need to have a deeper understanding of what's happening. But yeah, so you can leave overnight if it's not a trade, if it's not in your plan, basically. Okay. And personally, I think there are more opportunities here than, as an on a personal note, than investing, if you know what you're doing again. Yes, there's good buy the dip, invest for the long term, but if you really know what you're doing, you just take a little bit, especially in this time, very small amount. You'll be surprised how 1,000 or $1 could turn to 500, just like that. Yes, of course, you get the odd drawdown, but by the time people think we're at the bottom, it's probably going to be a bit too late. Like people thought we're at the bottom in June, and you get these people start buying the tops, they're buying the highs, and then took us down. Okay, this is a bit of an exceptionally long session we had. I could take one more question from anybody. Jay, for me, ask your question. Be cool. Again, we've eaten into your. Yeah, go on.
I do not have any questions for now.
No question. We've eaten into your time. You can't give your presentation this week. I'm sorry. I think next week I'll get you to start first. Getting a bit frustrated now.
I do want to say something, though.
Sorry?
I do want to say something. I don't know if I have the time.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I just want to thank you for the opportunity, and I don't know
which opportunity.
This all
this weekly thing that we. Well, you know, they say when you are in the what's that Winston Churchill thing? When you're in the hole, keep digging, right? Or some people say when you're in hell, keep going. People say when you're in hole, stop digging. I think this is it's one of the biggest, toughest time for all of us. I've been trading for, 1990, just 2006 now, and I'm still losing money. and especially people coming into this very new 2020 showed people opportunity that's available in the markets. I decided never to go to work again. I'm not exactly making as much as I will make if I'm at work. There are times I make a lot more, but at the same time, I just thought the best strategy we can do is, get to catch up regularly, and that's it. If we don't catch up regularly, I think I'm just going to leave you guys in the lodge, just chatting, and it doesn't make sense. Some people are even scared or even shy to ask questions in the open. So the best way is, like today, it was Naomi that actually prompted the questions of what we did today. Send them to me, and and I don't mind spending my time. It's what I enjoy to do. When you teach, you learn, and that's just the way it is for all of us, for me too. So I think it's a good opportunity for all of us. There's a lot to learn. I might be a little bit all over the place, but let's just keep going, guys. And like they say in Nigeria, now who give up, mess up, without using the F word or language. So yeah, so we can't just you've seen opportunities you can provide, and that's it. And this is quite a funny one actually. So I'll probably say Bola is the best trader I know right now. She's never made a loss. She's the best trader I know ever.
Yeah.
Never made a loss, right? Isn't it though?
I mean, yeah, it's not a lot. It's just like little.
Yeah, but you've never made a
minuses.
loss. But
Yeah.
you've never made a loss. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not about the money. It's about the percentage and the quality. She's never made a loss. Oh wow, amazing. So guys, if you're struggling anything, just go to Bola right there. Legendary trader, never made one loss. Amazing.
You don't jinx me. Okay, touch wood.
Touch wood, yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I think it's been a fun session. I'm always thinking about the session, and then at the end of the day, I tend to enjoy. So yeah, thanks everybody, and